Welcome to TreeLife.com. All glory to the true and living Creator in Yodhe Vav Hey, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, in the power of the Paracletus, the Ruach HaKodesh. Blessing once again. Welcome to TreeLife.com. TreeLife Online Academies. I breathe success paid tutorials. I'm your master teacher, your master instructor, Talaku, the Great Owl. Oh, what joy it is to be sharing once again these classes that I've aided, that is aiding, that I hope will also aid not just in your own mental and emotional preparation, but in also your functional outcomes. These classes are the building blocks of a successful end result. The other word for input is output. So another word for output is input. What you put in, you get out. You have to apply yourself to the psychological training and information that's being presented here. It's not a medical treatise, so you have to do your homework. You have to do your own secondary and tertiary set of research to bring the methodology and the information here into right and proper functionality. We provide the constructed plethora of tools that are necessary psychologically, emotionally, and indeed physiologically towards this endeavor. So here we go forward. Our first level dealt with breathing through all the courses. Now here on the second level, we'll be dealing with eating through all the courses, through all the classes. And this is the first class and indeed the first course in level 2. So level 2 course 1, class 1, how to eat for health and well-being. In continuity, in our first class, really, we spoke about, our last class of breathing, we spoke about the tendencies in the emotional spirit and biology and biochemistry to become addicted to substances of sugar, salts, and fats, the polyunsaturated and such. We spoke about the tendencies of individual to emotionally connect bad feelings, bad temperaments, bad attitudes with the need to have a sugar dopamine fix. And so as we spoke about the heart of the breath, connecting the breathing patterns to emotional patterns to eating patterns, here we are in our first class, how to eat for health and well-being here in level 2. So essentially, let's look at the digestive system. If we're going to talk about eating, we have to look at the process of eating. Now, all consummation starts in the oral cavity that is filled with a lot of sensory organs within the whole structure of the oral cavity. That begins the process through the salivary gland, of digesting the food that you've taken in through the oral cavity. It moistens the food, it releases digestive enzymes, it cleans the food, it appropriates it in homeostasis, right, for the right and proper mastication. And we spoke about the mastication before, chewing in proper timing, breaking down the material complex of the meals, separating the salts, the fats, the sugars, and the waters, the lipids and such, through the esophagus into the stomach. You got the essence of propulsion, right? That basically squeezes and pushes through the mastication, the swallowing, and peristalsis, the swallowing, through mastication, the grinding, and peristalsis, the swallowing. Food is pushed through the esophagus into the stomach. Further digestive enzymes through the digestive intestinal tract digest all that food, separates it into its base elements, right? Sugar, salts, and fats. And these are then taken through circulatory systems throughout the body for the appropriate nutrient value into our cellular makeup. So let's look a little deeper into the process of digestion, as well as the process of absorbing food energy into your body. So after entering food to the oral cavity and the process of, digesting the food begins from in the mouth, going through the intestinal system. At the same time, your breathing pattern affects how fast the food is propelled through the mechanical breakdown through the esophagus into the stomach. All these time, there is enzymatic action that's happening, but this enzymatic action is propelled by the air pressure, hallelujah, density going through the body. Now, with a high air pressure density, food is pushed through the digestive system in a sequential rhythm, a rhythmic order that allows for right and proper digestion and reduces the process of discomfort, right? Now, the increased discomfort will lead to what we call indigestion, and there are many forms of the indigestion that would be like having a colicky outcome, right? Or a constipated outcome because the undigested food matter sits in either the small intestine or in the large intestine. And we'll go more to that. So within the process of this breakdown going through the gastrointestinal tract into the stomach, the breathing helps the process of propulsion of mechanical breakdown, because sequentially how you breathe correlates with the timing of mastication, chewing, with the timing of peristalsis, swallowing, hallelujah, which is a suction system that as a pushing, when you swallow, it squeezes, right, the food matter through the esophagus. At the same time, within the whole process of your enzymatic biodigestive processes, fats are being released, fats dissolving lipids are being released through the liver and through the bile to break down the fatty content, right? And all this is starting right there in the gastrointestinal tract, right? Because gastric, there's a gaseous element to it. So we're going to go further into it as we go on to examine what we mostly put into our bodies, because we're talking about sugar, salts, and fats, right? As this process of digestion ensues, if the individual psychologically is disharmonized in their thinking, it causes correlative postural movement. Your posture will lag, and also the mechanical processes of the breakdown will go to sync, and also the chemical enzymatic processes of digestion will go out of sync. So when you're eating, you should be very, very conscious of how it is that you're processing this information that is going through your biochemistry into the very energy systems. One of the most important parts of this is that you should consider very deeply what it is that you are ingesting to ensure that the process of digestion is in sequential order with your biochemistry, with your heredity, epigenetical, nutri-genetic heritage that has been developed over the years of your family food intake habits, right? They become a part of the very DNA structure. So these things considered, one should then look at the processes now of how your biochemistry reflects in digestion. As we are going further into digestion now, we realize that when we feel these discomforts, obviously there is a dis-ease. Obviously something is cyclically out of order because we are a circulatory system. And so blockages are coming in because one, either the intestinal tracts are filled with waste that cannot be digested, the kind of food products that get into your biochemistry that cannot be digested. So let's fulfill now the circle